Good morning. Welcome. My name's Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to create a space of support and healing, hopefully for you. So welcome. So while you're coming over, I want to send out a big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Monday the 29th of May here at exactly 9:24 a.m. So I'll be here for around 20 minutes. I'm actually at 10 o'clock on the hour, so in about 35 minutes from now, I'll be doing our monthly Patreon healing list event. So I'm ready early, and I thought I'd come in and connect with you as like a pre-healing time, So welcome to you. So my plan is, my intention is I'm going to pull a healing energy card. We'll see what it is. I'm going to talk about that card, and then I'm going to play my chakra chimes for a little bit, and then I'm going to pull another card to go. So hopefully you enjoy the time that we spend together here today. I trust you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared supports you at this time. And just take on board, I recommend that you take on board what resonates and what fits into your life easily. The things that make sense to you right now, I'd be paying attention to those, and the things that don't make sense, just let them go. If anything triggers you, something you've been thinking about or something that challenges your way of thinking, I'd certainly be looking into that before I totally dismiss it. So welcome. Hi Glenda. Hi Kerry from Perth. It's just started raining here. I'm so super organised this morning, and I'll be heading down south later on this afternoon, so I thought, I might go and do some concreting. So I was planning on actually going outside now and getting everything ready to go for after the healing event, so that I could do that before I left. And literally it just started raining. So I'm thinking, okay, no concreting today, but maybe tomorrow. It takes me about an hour to do like one cement mixer load when I'm making pavers. So I thought, oh yes, a bit of physical activity outside, but it's not going to happen. And that's all right. I'm not fixated on it. I thought it just would be nice. So, hi Daniel, hi Carol. And let's grab the best card, healing energy card, that the majority of us need right now. I've just seen an old card in with the new cards. So that's weird. That one can go. And we'll grab the best card that the majority of us need now to support us and this healing time. So what do we need to talk about and explore today? So healing energy cards, deck 2, and we have, this card keeps coming up. It came up, I think, in the last healing event I did, which was a week or so ago, I guess. I don't know when, it's just time is going crazy. It's card 67, called Emotional Rebirth. It's an exciting card, this one. It's in the action category, so it has movement and action, forward momentum potentially. And down here it says, a new level of thinking. Actually, it doesn't say that at all. It says a new level of feeling. A new level of feeling. Allow how you feel about something or someone to change, including how we feel about ourselves. Emotional transformation, flow, maturity, and new perspective. So there's a lot in this. So when I drew this card, it reminded me of the unfurling fronds of a fern. So when I go for bushwalks here in the springtime, we have these big ferns that we call man ferns. And they're amazing fern fronds, that I guess older ones that are out. And then in the central part, if you can see down into them, are all these fern fronds that are really tightly curled up, and they start unfurling and opening up and sort of curling back and becoming a fern frond, and they're quite amazing. And as they're growing up, they sort of grow up straight at the base and the top tip still curled. So sometimes you see the big fronds, and then you've got maybe a foot high of these fern fronds that are straight and then really tightly spiraled and curled at the top as they sort of unfurl and unfold themselves. So that's really what inspired this particular artwork. So when I was creating this, I was thinking of those unfurling fern fronds. So, and this card in itself brings a lot, or a deep connection with feeling and emotions, and remembering, I say often, but reminding ourselves that emotions want to be in motion. They want to move, just like, I guess, the unfurling fern frond wants to also move and open up and be in motion. And it's natural for feelings to be in motion. In fact, the more I get in sync with mind, the more I see that they are a movement, something that moves. It's not natural, I don't feel, for emotions to stay. And so what I notice when I have an emotion that sticks, for whatever reason, it's because I'm not fully feeling or exploring or tapping into the potential that that feeling has to offer me and help me with my healing and my growth and my transformation. So if I feel stuck or stagnant, and then I tune into how and pay attention to how I'm feeling, I will often find most of the time that I'm holding on to a feeling. So I don't tend to get stuck or stagnant often, let's say, because I'm very conscious that it's important to me, at least, to be able to feel my way forward and feel my way through life without being an emotional wreck. And I think sometimes we become an emotional wreck or emotionally imbalanced when we are avoiding our feelings as well. So we can tend to either become stuck or become over emotional, and the balance or stability of emotion is almost non-existent in some aspects, because we may not be listening to how we feel, so we might not understand why we feel a certain way, for example. So exploring this realm of emotion is quite incredible. So I don't know where you're at the moment with whatever you've got going on emotionally. Are you grieving and struggling to move through that grief? Grief is a really good example, and one we can probably all relate to, that tends to hold us in a stuck and stagnant space, because allowing ourselves to feel our way through can be quite difficult when it comes to grief, especially someone close to us and it's been maybe fairly fresh or new. So that's, something just to be gentle with ourselves. I like to remind myself to go gently if I'm struggling to understand what I'm feeling. So how can we understand what we feel? I think sometimes we can put words to describe how we feel. I think it takes a bit of a level of emotional maturity to be able to do that. What I've found has helped me with my being able to describe how I feel is that I spent a lot of years, decades, writing how I felt down, because as a young person, I had no idea how to explain how I felt. I felt a lot of emotion, but I didn't know how to describe it at all. So I felt like I was a bit, and this is when I was very young, like mid-teens kind of thing, I felt like I was quite emotionally bottled up because I couldn't explain, I couldn't find words to describe those feelings. And I think it's pretty normal for children and for young people as well. But there's many older people too who struggle with that. So I found writing really helpful, because writing to me has been a bridge between my mysterious wash of emotions that is just a feeling, but okay, if I was to put words onto that, how could I explain it? How could I describe it? So words and writing in particular gave me the chance to sort of sit in myself and feel through in the written sense with my written words. And that became a bridge. The writing became a bridge between my unconscious sort of feeling and my ability to be able to communicate how I feel. So the writing has been a really important middle step for me to get it clear in my head, get it clear on paper, and then understand that to be able to express it verbally, which took me a long time. That I was very verbally blocked up for a lot of my younger life. And the other thing that I find really helpful to get the emotions moving and make some sense of emotions, not so much in a verbal sense or a language sense, but with creativity. And I find art, music, and expression, other forms of expression, as far as other forms instead of writing or verbalizing, other forms of expression can be a great way of kind of traveling through our emotional realm and seeing what our emotions are trying to bring forward and are trying to move within us. If emotions are moving, then what are our emotions at this point in this moment trying to move within us? Are we trying to move through some issue or some healing or some insecurity that we feel? Are we trying to move through a period of grief? Are we moving through a period of change? Are we moving through a period of stability? You know, so what are we moving through, and how are our emotions guiding us through this journey and this part of our adventure? And often I find if I do feel blocked, even if it's just for an hour, like yesterday morning, for example, I had a 30-minute period where I was feeling very irrational. And I don't tend to feel irrational, but there was a 30-minute period, roughly, where I felt irrational, and I felt like I was not listening properly. I was jumping to conclusions, and it was a new situation that I didn't know about. Like, I didn't have any wisdom or experience around this situation, so a part of me just went into a rational mode, and it wasn't that bad. But when I left and detached from the situation, I recognized and realized I was being irrational. So I wanted to take a break. I wanted some distance so that I could clear that and then come back with a clearer, more rational perspective. And just let it resolve itself. Sometimes we try and force things and put too much onto the situation as well, because we might be in a panic or scared. So maybe some things to think about. So I'm going to play the singing bowl. No, I'm not. What am I doing? Okay, brain, get into alignment with my words. I'm playing my chakra chimes, and we're going to sit in this energy. I really encourage you not to be afraid of how you feel. The more afraid we are, the more we push them away, because I don't want to feel that feeling. And grief may be one of these we can add, and even big intense emotions like anger, where we sort of want to push it away like it's a bad thing. That only makes the emotion louder, in my experience. So it becomes louder and in some ways angrier if it's anger, or the grief becomes stronger if it's grief. It becomes more like a big mountain or a looming storm cloud if we try and push it away. So what I would recommend trying, if it's something that you don't usually do, is as I play the chakra chimes, perhaps take some big deep breaths and sit in your body, meaning you could probably imagine that you've got a comfortable chair in your heart, and you just breathe slowly and settle into your heart and settle into your body and feel what it's like in your body in these moments. And as you sit in your body, just take maybe an observation, become aware of your current state of feeling. And sometimes we think we have to feel a certain way. So be careful you're not thinking that you should feel this way, so this is how you feel. And be careful that you're not thinking that you feel the same way that you did last week or last year when something happened, and you're holding that feeling in play. So be careful you're not thinking you should feel a certain way, or that you've got something coming up and you're already drawn into the feeling of what that might be. So see if you can put all that sort of stuff aside, detach from it if you can, and just observe how you feel now. And you might surprise yourself that maybe you feel calm, you feel content, maybe you feel like there's something coming, but maybe it's not as scary as what you think it is in your mind. So I'm going to play the chakra chimes. Let me do a time check. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to play the chakra chimes. There's nothing you can do wrong. Just listen and see where the chakra chimes lead you into yourself. So if you keep being distracted by other people or other things, just see if you can redirect your focus back to your breathing, back to your body, and back to your emotional state. And don't be afraid of how you feel. Your feelings, your emotions are here to actually help guide you through your life and help you move through things that may be challenge, but also things that are opportunities for you moving forward. So take a nice big breath. And I'll start at the heart as usual. Thank you. I trust you enjoyed the chimes today. They're chakra chimes. And we started and we finished with the heart. So hopefully you feel maybe a little bit more connected or even a little more willing perhaps to explore your realm of emotion, and make sure whatever emotions you're feeling or you're ignoring or you're pushing away, that they aren't contributing to your out of balance state at this time. That actually your feelings are your friend, we could say. And the more you accept and work with your state of emotion, the more balanced you become on an emotional level as well. So see how you go and see if you are open to or inspired to perhaps explore your emotions a little more. So our card, if you just joined in for the chimes, was card 67, Emotional Rebirth. So thank you. I'm going to pull another card to go. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this connection, you know what to do. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment, please share if you're inspired to. And if you would like to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. So what have we got going on at the moment? I've got some new ceramics that are going to be dropped online into my online shop on my ceramics website, which is leannepeters.com, on Sunday, Sydney time, Sunday the 4th of June. So I've got some new things coming there. So you'll probably see them around my Facebook posts over this next week and probably in the last week while I've been making things. So that's exciting coming up. You can grab yourself a deck of my latest Healing Energy Cards Deck 2 or Healing Energy Cards Deck 1, which have been upgraded basically. These have just come out in the last couple of months, so you can now get Healing Energy Cards again. Yay! And you can combine the deck if you want and play with 110 Healing Energy Cards, which is great. So if you want to learn more about me and the work I do at Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. If you get something out of my videos and my work and you haven't supported for a while or ever, please have a look on my website, and there might be something small on there that you can purchase that helps support me and my work and my ability to continue to be here. So thank you for that. And let's grab a card to go. So I'm looking for the best card we need for the majority of us as we move forward from here. So where are we going, especially in relation to what's come up, which is very much focused around emotions and letting our emotions move. So being in motion, motioning emotions, moving emotions, feeling our way forward. I love reminding myself of that. If I do feel stuck, just feel your way through. It'll be okay. And you know, sometimes even if I just say to myself when I admit, oh, I'm feeling angry, or yesterday, oh, I'm feeling irrational, then that kind of stops the emotion, because then it moves into a new feeling, which is very interesting. So when you admit that you're stuck, when you admit that you're angry, when you admit that you're being irrational, when you admit that you're in love, when you admit that you're feeling content, when you admit these things, it keeps the energy of emotions moving. So I find that very interesting as well. I find the realm of emotions quite fascinating. Okay, so the best card as we move forward from here, so the next 24-ish hours, how can we make this information and energy stick and count? Let's keep this in mind. Card 3, Expansion. It's in the Rise category, and down here it says Star and Galactic Connections. Reconnect with your star home. Expand your perceptions. Lift up. Find the bigger picture and get perspective of the situation. And you know, our emotions can help us get that perspective. As strange as sometimes it seems, because our emotions can feel like they're just washing over us and are a big mess and are too heavy and too difficult to even look at. But actually our emotions can help us see the bigger picture and get perspective of situations we might be stuck in. So maybe something for you to consider if you do feel stuck and you've been avoiding how you feel. But there is an expansive energy here. So as we move forward over the next 24-ish hours, if we can tap into our emotional state and if we can acknowledge it and feel our way through and even just try it for 24, 48 hours or a week or something. Just see how it works for us. See how it works for you. You might find that you start feeling more expanded, like you're more connected somehow. Like things feel a little easier or a little smoother somehow than they did before when you were perhaps rejecting your emotional state. So there is expansion that's potentially coming, and it comes from that, our ability and willingness to look at how we feel and allow those feelings to shift us and shift things for us as we move through. We have to be willing to change, don't we? Because we can hold ourselves in a difficult state and space because we don't want to change, and we may be angry, we may be bitter, we may be blaming someone or something for something that happened, and we may in some ways feel like we have to keep that going because I don't know why. Actually, I don't know why, because I do see people do that. Why do we need to hold on? I think, part of the moving of energy is, and the moving of emotions is to be willing to change. Are you willing to change your attitude? Are you willing to change how you deal with and respond to and live with your emotional state? If you're not willing to change, if you're very stubborn and you just are in a deep state of bitterness or resentment, for example, it might be hard to, not impossible, but difficult to tap into that energy. So if you do feel still a bit of resistance to tap into your emotions, maybe consider repeating the mantra, I am willing to change, and believe it. I am willing to change. And I say that because I really am willing to change. And that might help free up some chains or a cage or something that's trapped around a certain situation, because maybe deep down you're not willing to change. And that can really hold us back. So I'll leave that with you. See how that resonates. But expansion moving forward, potentially. Thank you so much. Have a great day. I'm going over to YouTube now, pretty much. 9 minutes. I'll be live on YouTube in 9 minutes. Temple of Balance on YouTube in the live videos. And I'll be hosting our healing event. And the theme is around balance. So if you have a bit of time and you'd like to come over, please do. I'll see you there maybe. If not, have a great rest of your day. And I'll connect with you again soon. Take care. Bye. See you.